We are talking to Danroy and Angela Henry, who lost their son in October of 2010 in a police shooting that you absolutely positively believe was not justified either, which is the case in Trayvon Martin's case, where they say he was involved in an altercation with an apparent law enforcement official or someone who was perceived to be a law enforcement official, and he lost his life too. And I'm wondering, even when we talk about him, your son, that DJ Henry is no longer here, I always marvel how parents are able to even say the words. Angela, how do you?
Often I still talk about him as if he's here with me.
Do you?
It's very hard. I miss him so much. I miss having a daily conversation with him and seeing his face.
What would you like us to learn? What can we learn about this story?
Yeah.
You know, when David Kennedy said it's inevitable and it happens all the time, and he was not surprised. Did you feel that too? This is inevitable? I mean, I look forward to the day where we don't say it's not inevitable.
Yeah,
this is an anomaly.
Yeah, and we resigned ourselves to two things, Gayle. One is that we were going to do the best that we could do for DJ and for others. Early on, we realized we weren't just fighting for him anymore. We were fighting for other people, and we're fighting for Trayvon and others, and we'll continue that fight. Kids of all races and families and parents who are affected by the loss of children under questionable circumstances, for whom the system actually doesn't provide them the answers and the support that, frankly, we think that they should get. And we're also serving.
Was DJ's death a racial issue for you?
We don't know why Aaron has shot our son, and we said that from the beginning. He's never answered that question.
I remember you saying very clearly, we just want to get to the bottom of this.
Exactly.
We're not even playing the race card here. We just want to get to the bottom. And 2 years later, is that how you still feel?
Absolutely. We just think he ought to answer some questions, and it shouldn't be so easy to take a human life and then to say nothing about it, and to be exonerated largely because you've been silent. Or because there's a presumption of innocence and a presumption of guilt for the victim. It just shouldn't work that way for any of us. We just live in a society that's too civil for that to be the rule. Look, if we can get shot and killed for pulling away from a fire lane when we're asked to, and for walking in a neighborhood with a hoodie on, then no one's safe. I mean, irrespective of race, human life should be just be more than that. And people ought to be subject to legitimate questions when and if they take a life. We ought to expect that, and our system ought to support that. And unfortunately, it doesn't today.
I'm a big Jay-Z fan, and I have the Watch the Throne album. I guess kids today say CD or whatever they say on my iPod. And I was listening to a song, and I heard your son's name. And I was wondering, have you all heard that song? And have you all heard it?
We did hear it.
You heard it? And what did you think?
We
were
amazing. Surprised because we had no idea that was in the works.
You'd never talked to him? He had never talked to you?
And we heard it the morning that it came out. Someone sent us a message or a tweet, and we listened to it again and again. And my husband said, "There's only 2 Danroy Henrys in the world, and
I'm one."
That's
he's
right.
one.
Yeah,
and it was it was a wonderful tribute to our son, and we appreciated JT doing that for us.
I was wondering if that's how you took it, as a tribute, because that's certainly how I took it to be. I think Jay-Z is a very smart guy, and it speaks certainly through his music, and I think that he was making a statement there. What did you think?
We agree. We agreed 100%. He's been very supportive. I think people ought to know a little bit about his generosity. He's also supported the DJ Dream Fund, the foundation we started for our son, to really serve while we wait for justice and the criminal elements of this. But he's been supportive with things there as well, and just really a kind-hearted person. We're happy that he chose to use his voice in that way.